Hey everyone, it's Daniel here from Infovest. Hope you are all doing well. So I wanted to do a video to talk about supply shortages and also this inflation, how it relates to inflation. So I don't think a lot of people are ready or realize that a supply shortage, a worse off supply shortage, could be coming in the future. And the reason I say that is because you may think from a demand side that the central banks can do everything that they can by raising rates to try to bring inflation down and to affect all markets from a demand side to bring prices down, which sure may have an effect short term in the current environment, just let's say now, but I think there's going to be some long term implications and effects to this. It seems like there is a shift that is going on, and this shift of, if you look past 10, 20 years ago, we've been China's been basically exporting a lot of disinflation. So we had lower prices because you're buying a lot of goods from China, you're importing that into your country, and it's being made, and labor's cheap, and goods are cheap, and it's being made cheaply from China, and you're bringing that in within your country, right? If you're living in the West, let's say, right, and also throughout the whole world as well. So you're you're importing these cheap goods, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, this war with Russia, Ukraine, and now this kind of issue and dilemma between the West and the East, West and China, especially China, who controls a lot of the supply chain. And if China's affecting the supply chain, then definitely you'll see that globally there'll be an effect, and the West will definitely be affected by this. And that's why we have seen this increase in inflation. And this shift, right? Can this shift be solved with just hiking rates? And I don't think so, right? I don't think by hiking interest rates, the central banks around the world are going to solve the problem with supply chain, are going to solve the problem with shipping, are going to solve the problem with Putin basically stopping the war. I don't think that's going to have an effect. So can it definitely shrink demand? Sure, it can. Can it force suppliers to bring prices down because demand is down? Sure, right? Will there be layoffs? Yes, because if you have a demand shock or a massive, ugly recession, sure, you will lay off employees. You'll try to, salvage what you can and try to bring your prices down on your goods. Now, and you bring your prices down on your goods too, which then affects inflation. And then you could say and argue from that point of view that, okay, inflation is coming down from that demand point of view. However, here's the problem. The problem is that for how long can a business withstand lowering its prices, right? We did see a lot of business during 2021 and even right now increasing their prices, pushing their prices higher, and they've been pushing and passing the buck to the consumers. Now we're at a point where, pain is being inflicted by both the consumer and the businesses. Now, if we reverse course and bring prices down, now here's a problem. We brought the wages up. Now, we can't go to our employees and say, hey, we're going to pay you less this year. What most likely is going to happen is, there's going to be layoffs. And even after doing that and doing all those layoffs to lower your cost, if it's still of an effect because of external factors, whether it's energy prices or it's supply related or what have you, or even just demand related too, if you're not getting much inflow of revenue coming in and you can't make a profit after bringing your prices down and you're still not getting sales, or it's just not hitting your bottom line, then what are you going to do as a business? You're going to shut down. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that in many countries. We're seeing that in... Okay, sorry, my video actually got cut off. There was a little bit of an interruption. So I'm going to repeat what I was saying. I was on a roll and then it kind of diverted. So anyways, what I was saying is that you're seeing the effects of this from businesses from other countries. Like, for example, Germany, like the video I've done previously. Take a look at that video I did on Germany heading into an ugly recession, right? When you have companies like 100-year-old manufacturing company who produces and toilet paper, right? They're going out of business because energy bills or cost of energy is way too high, right? You can expect the same thing if demand is not meeting their bottom line, even as they're in a recession. That will close more businesses. It will shut down businesses. It will shut down a lot of stores. They will close their doors, which will then do what, right? If you think about it, what will that do? That means that if there are less businesses producing, manufacturing, let's say, toilet paper, then the cost is going to go up because there's not much supply. So this is why I'm saying that a recession sure may bring inflation down to a certain level, but the question is, what level is that? And is it temporary? Is it just a temporary move until we start to realize that a lot of businesses are shutting down, which will eventually cause, again, inflation to creep up high, which may suggest why some people are saying we're in a huge, big regime shift. We're changing things in a different way. The new world is going to be very different. We're going to live in a new era of higher inflation. You know, the metric or the level was 2%, and maybe we may see central banks start to change that mandate and start to accept 3 or 4%. And then you have other half of the people that believe that no, it's we're not going to see 3 or 4% as the new norm. We're going to get to the 2% and everything's going to be normal again. So we'll see what happens. I do see both scenarios happening. I do see that, yes, inflation coming off hard from causing a recession, right? Due to the recession. Sorry, let me repeat that again. Due to the recession, you could see inflation come down below, and just because of the demand shock that it creates and prices coming down lower. But then the effects of that, of businesses shutting down, and you have less products, or less people in the market, will basically should bring prices back up higher again, as there is a demand for certain, let's say, goods or certain needs, right? Especially when it comes to your needs. If it has to do with food or essentials like toilet paper, for example, and energy. So especially and yes, fertilizer companies that are going bankrupt, and if they go bankrupt, definitely your food prices will go up, and so on. So if your essentials, your companies that build the essentials, if those companies go bankrupt, then definitely you'll see higher prices, until maybe, fast forward, we get new entrepreneurs coming in, new businesses coming in to supply the goods in the market. Maybe we'll see more supply at that point, and maybe we could see prices come down after that. But it looks of a recession taking a lot of companies out and causing a lot of bankruptcies definitely doesn't look good from a supply side point of view, especially when you have this disruption in globalization, this disruption with supply chain already, and this war with Russia, Ukraine, and the West versus the East. Definitely there's going to be a lot of power shift between the West and the East. A lot of talking back and forth that, hey, we don't like the way that the West does this to you. And then the East, will say that we are going to do XYZ and not provide you this or that. If you want these resources or you want it at good prices, then you need to, accept our demands and requests, and so on, right? You could see so many things come out of this, and I can go on and on about this, but definitely I wouldn't be shocked to see if we do get an ugly recession. I wouldn't be shocked to see a drop in inflation and then a pick back up again, and supply to be still disrupted and maybe make things worse off in terms of inflation point of view. Maybe it may have to look like the 1970s, 1980s, where we did see a drop in inflation, pick back up, and then again central banks hitting it with higher rates, and then a drop again, right? Maybe we may get that scenario, maybe not. However, Jerome Powell, the head of the U.S. Federal Reserve, came out and said that they want to avoid that scenario. They want to tackle it and hit it hard now, which is why they want to increase interest rates and keep rates elevated for a longer period of time to eventually, hopefully, bring these prices down. But, will that really solve the supply side? I don't think so. I think there could be definitely an effect of it. And I do see why people are 50-50 on this camp. 50% on the side that, yeah, we're going to see 2% or lower in inflation, maybe even negative, right? And then the other 50% seeing that, supply chain issues to still continue to be worse off, especially as businesses go bankrupt, less of your essential goods, which would mean maybe your core CPI and other inflation metrics moving up higher or staying elevated afterwards, right? So anyways, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon for any updates as well. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think we will see higher inflation for a very long time? Is this the new norm? Is this what we're going to live for forever? Or are we going to see lower inflation and everything's going to be solved and everything's going to look better in the future? Let me know. I'll see you guys around. Thanks. Bye.